much to catch you guys up on, from my little makeup lineup that I've been loving to all the pregnancy updates. I'm nearing the end. It's so crazy. So let's hang out while I do my makeup. I'm gonna share everything that I've been using for like my go-to everyday look at the moment and just chit chat about all the updates and everything that's been going on. So I cannot believe I am 37 going on 38 weeks. I think the last time I shared an update with you guys, I was around 25. So there's a big gap of time, obviously, in between. So much has been going on, all good things. We did our baby moon. I had my baby shower, had my glucose test, which I failed. I'll explain more. And just doing all the nesting things. So pretty much it's like all good updates, but I can't believe we're at the end. The primer that I used, the first product that I started off with, is the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. So that really hasn't changed. I've loved this product for so long and I use the shade medium. It's beautiful. And then the foundation that I'm applying right now is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Care and Glow. This is in the shade 305N. I feel like it is such a good match too. I seriously haven't been able to put this stuff down since I got it in, and you all know me. I'm gonna fill you in and chit chat on all the things, but then I'm also going to share the makeup details because those are important. So I had a doctor's appointment 2 days ago, and at that appointment I did get checked and I am 1 centimeter dilated, which I've been 1 centimeter for like 2 weeks now. She said I was 70% effaced, which is really good, and that baby is sitting low. If you're familiar with like positions, is a terminology that they'll use for like where your baby is sitting in your pelvis, basically. She said I was at a 0, almost a 1, so he is really low, and she pretty much said like things could progress and happen any day now, which I'm really hoping for, because if he does not come by 39 weeks, he'll be 38 in 2 days, so he really has like a week, then I will have to get induced, and that's because I have gestational diabetes. Getting induced a little early when you have gestational diabetes is super common, so it's like nothing to worry about. They just don't want baby to get too big. But ideally, I would love to go into labor on my own and not have to be induced. So TBD for that. It's kind of like a waiting game at this point. I am really happy that I've gotten almost all of like my little self-care appointments out of the way. I moved my wax up to today and just had that done this morning because I was so scared like that I might not make it till Wednesday. Made my hair appointment this past week. The only thing left is my nail appointment, which I have tomorrow, which, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I know some people might be rolling their eyes like, why do you need to do all of that? But I've always said from the beginning, I want to feel my best throughout pregnancy and going into postpartum. I want to feel my best going into labor. So you all know me. I love all the beauty things. So naturally, I'm going to obviously schedule them all, get them all done before, or at least as like as close as possible before going into labor, just to make sure I feel my best. So it feels good to have all of that done. And baby boy's nursery is like set up, but we just have like finishing touches to put on it. So I think we're going to head out and go to the mall and look around at maybe some rugs and light fixtures and stuff this afternoon, which will be fun. And I think just getting out of the house and like occupying my mind will be good too. I mentioned that I'm coming up on 38 weeks, and I mentioned that I have gestational diabetes, and part of having gestational diabetes, like I mentioned, they want to just keep an eye on baby's weight because babies can be a little bit larger when you have that. So I do have an ultrasound coming up on Tuesday, so that's in like 3 days or so. So that'll be in just a few days, just to check his size and see what he is looking like. A month ago when we checked, so I've gotten 2 extra ultrasounds because of the diabetes. A month ago though, he was 5 pounds 8 ounces. So I'm interested to see what they say he is come Tuesday, given that he doesn't arrive before then. I've been sharing lots of daily and like just more regular updates over on my Instagram stories, and I have a bunch of highlights saved for anybody who wants to follow along a little bit closely, because I obviously don't update on here as much as I do there, but I will definitely share an update after that appointment over on my stories. I'm of course praying that they don't tell me he's gonna be like 10 pounds, but you know, regardless, we will get it figured out. I love my doctor, which is such a plus. I feel like that makes a huge, huge difference when you really love your doctor. I've been seeing mine since I was like 19, and I love her. I think she's great. So I feel really good, really confident, really comfortable with her. And like whatever happens, I feel like I'm in really good hands with her. So that gives me peace of mind. This product, by the way, I think is so underrated. It is the Clinique Chubby Stick. Oh God, dropping everything over here. But I think it is so pretty, just really creamy. I love the shade and tone of this too. So cannot recommend this enough. And then the concealer that I've been using is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer in the shade Cotton. Super brightening. You don't need a lot. It's full coverage. I love the finish. So both of these are like 10 out of 10 for me. But aside from being like a little uncomfy here and there, I feel like I've had a pretty good pregnancy, minus my first trimester, which if you know, you know, I was really sick my first trimester, but I have felt amazing throughout my second, most of my second, and all of my third trimester so far. So I'm really, really grateful for that. I couldn't find my brush. I'm sitting here staring at it. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely agree that pregnancy brain is so real. And I have heard that it only gets worse. It doesn't get better. This blush is another staple. I swear I've definitely shared this before. There's no way I haven't. But this is the Tarte Man Eater blush in the shade Pink. I use this all the time. It just always looks good. It never fails me. It's very glowy. I love the formula of it. I love how it applies on the skin, how it looks, how it layers with other products. I don't feel like I hear a lot of people talk about it, but I use it all the time. I'm almost out. If you can see, I only have a little bit left. I just absolutely love this stuff. So I haven't really veered off from that. I consistently use that product. Anyways, I am really thankful that I've enjoyed pregnancy. I never would have expected that. I've never been somebody who like obsessed over the idea of being a mom or like dreamed of being pregnant one day. Like, of course it's something that I wanted, but I was very much someone who was more like all in due time, if that makes sense. So I guess kind of always feeling that way growing up. I wasn't really sure what to expect with this whole journey, if you will, but I've really enjoyed it. I could not be more excited. I'm really excited to finally be a mom, to have my baby here, to go into this next chapter. I don't know, I feel like a lot of people say there's never a right time, but I feel like timing couldn't be more perfect. I feel really, I don't want to say at peace, but I guess it kind of is. Like, I just feel really good about where I am in life and really good about becoming a mom at this point in my life. Like, I couldn't have imagined this happening sooner for me personally, but I don't know, it's just a really good feeling. The unknown can be really scary, but I just feel super confident with where we are right now, and I'm just looking forward to it. I think a lot of people too try to make pregnancy and like motherhood really scary. So I guess I'm sharing all of this just to say I feel like it can be exciting and there can be a lot of positives, and like you can have a positive experience and it doesn't have to always feel that way. So that's my little spiel for today on that. Setting powder is Laura Mercier. That has not changed. Well, I guess it has changed because at the beginning of pregnancy, it was really drying me out. Skin is back to normal. Skin is thriving again, and I love this. So I've continued to use that. That has been working well for me. And then this bronzer, you guys, if I can get it open, I am obsessed with it. I haven't started applying it, but it is so pretty, so gorgeous. It's the Hourglass, I never remember the name. It's the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer and Radiant Bronze Light. Like, that is a whole mouthful, but I think it's stunning. I love the finish of it. I was worried when I first got it, like it might look too shimmery or glittery, but because it does have like a pearlescent finish to it, but I don't think it does at all. I just honestly think it's the prettiest thing. It kind of gives your skin a healthy glow. I feel like Hourglass is kind of known for being a little bit pricier, but I will tell you it is worth every single penny. Battery died, so there's nothing new there. That has not changed. But if we're off center, that is why. So this is brand new. And I want to use it today. It hasn't been in like my go-to lineup because I literally just got it, but I think it is so stunning, and I could see it fitting in very well. So this is the Kosas Baked Blush in the shade Bliss. It's like a peachy pink. I think it's stunning. I've used it once and really liked it, so figured I would go ahead and use it again today because it looks just so pretty and nice. Gorge. I love this color. This shade is very me. Just diffusing it a tad, which I feel like is always so easy to do too, with either a simple little powder brush that has no product on it or just like a translucent powder. And then I'll even take my beauty blender. It's damp, but I haven't put anything like any other product on it since setting my under eyes and stuff, and go through and just kind of tap it out. Something else I've been trying to do lately and really like is going ahead and setting my face before I get into my brows and my eyes and all of that. This Pixie Makeup Fixing Mist, why can't I talk, has been a fave. It's a drugstore product, little find. I've been using it a lot. Something else about me in pregnancy is that I run very hot, which is so new to me. I've never had that happen in my life. I'm usually the girl who's cold 24/7. So like that just feels so cool and refreshing. It's so freaking hot outside. Okay, gorge. Let's do my brows. I actually have my brows tinted and laminated, but I haven't brushed them up yet today, so they probably look a little crazy. That was something else I wanted to have done before baby came. I went and got my brows and my lashes done. So my lashes, I have a lift and tint on those right now. Makes such a difference. You'll see when I go to put my mascara on, it just is so convenient. With my brows being laminated, I like to take this Benefit microfilling pen and kind of do little hair-like strokes throughout, because that way I just think it looks more natural, helps to fill them in without going overboard. The only place where I will like actually take a pencil, and I'll show you in a second, is right up here, just because it's a little bit sparse and I don't feel like this product does a good job at getting an area like that. Not too shabby. Okay, now I'm gonna take what is usually my holy grail, which is the Precisely My Brow pencil. It is super tiny, skinny, gets very detailed, which I love. And I just need to fill in this area because for whatever reason, it's a little sparse right now. And then you already know, this is my holy grail brow gel. It's the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. And I just love this product. I love everything about it. I love how it holds. I love the brush on it. Keeping my shadow so simple but really pretty. I love using the Hourglass bronzer as my transition shade. So that is what I'm using today. This warms everything up, keeps it bronzy but still really wearable, which I like. I guess back to more updates. I mentioned we went on our baby moon. We went to Miami, which was perfect. We've been there before. I really love it down there. This was our third time going. We stayed at the W, which we've stayed at previously, and we also love. So I really wanted to go somewhere that was gonna be a direct flight and preferably under 2 hours, which Miami is for us. So that worked out well, and we knew that they had amazing beaches. The W has a gorgeous pool. You get service at both, and there's just a lot of good food options. So that was really why we decided to go there. It was convenient, it's beautiful, and good food. So we went when I was 29, going on 30 weeks. I would say probably the sweet spot for a baby moon would have been like between 25 and 28, just because I had really good energy then, and like the bump was still bumping. Between 29 and 30, like I still felt good, but definitely it was hot down there. And that was right around the time I started to get a little bit more tired by the end of the day. Like I could definitely feel it by the end of the day. Like I wanted to be in bed by 9. But we had the most amazing time. I'm so glad we went, had a little vacay, some time to unwind and relax, just us, spend time together. Like it was perfect. So if you're on the fence about doing one or not, I would definitely recommend, even if you do like what we did and just stay in the States, there's plenty of nice places to go. But it was such a nice trip. Got to eat all the things, because luckily that was before I found out that I had failed my glucose test, because my experience is unique. They called me and told me originally that I passed it and that I just needed to take an iron supplement because my iron was low. So they called me and told me I passed. We went on our baby moon, all was well. I was like, amazing, great, love. We get back from the baby moon, they call me again and they're like, hey, you failed the 1 hour, gotta come take the 3 hour. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You already told me that I passed. But I did in fact not. And then I had to go back, do the 3 hour test, which I obviously also failed because I have gestational diabetes. So yeah, it wasn't ideal, but it's been super manageable. Mine is diet controlled, which hasn't been bad at all. I've just needed to make a few tweaks to my diet around carbs and sugars and just adding more protein, more healthy fats. So I'm very thankful that it's been as manageable as it is. I obviously would love to not prick my finger 4 times a day because that's what I have to do. But again, in the grand scheme of things, it's so small. So it could definitely be worse, but I'm thankful for what the situation is given the circumstances, because I know some people do have to go on medication. So I'm very happy that I never ended up having to do that. And I've touched on this on my Instagram, but the 1 hour test wasn't bad to me. The 3 hour test was not great. I didn't have a great experience, but I mean, I was positive, so it naturally didn't make me feel great. And you have to go into the 3 hour test on an empty stomach. You have to be fasted and you're drinking 100 grams of sugar in under 5 minutes. So not ideal, but I've gone into quite a bit of detail, like I mentioned, just over on my Instagram, giving more regular updates on that if you're interested. I have a bunch of different stories and such saved in my 3rd trimester highlight. I will say it has definitely taught me a lot because, I mean, prior to this, I felt like I didn't know anything about gestational diabetes, and I've realized a lot of other people like don't know a lot about it either, which I get. It's kind of like, why would you unless you have it? But it's been a good learning experience. I've learned a lot just about like my blood sugar, nutrition, and all of that. So there's been some positives there. The main thing for me has just always been like, I want to make sure baby is safe and healthy, and they've been very happy with my numbers and my levels of where they are, and everything has looked good at every appointment, which has been nice. So like I mentioned, it could definitely be more intense. It's just a learning experience, if anything. The biggest thing that I feel like is such a misconception is you have no control over whether you're gonna have gestational diabetes or not. Like your diet is not playing into it. It's literally your placenta and how it is filtering insulin. So it's just kind of one of those things, like even people who have had it for one pregnancy may not have it for another pregnancy of theirs. So if you have it, you are not to blame. If you know someone who has it, they are not to blame. So I feel like that's definitely like an assumption that people have, like, oh, they must be eating like shit, but that's not the case. But hopefully you all can see, like, the lash lift just helps to keep them up and curled so effortlessly. I just love it. It just makes life 1,000 times easier when you're applying mascara. And then for the other parts of my shadow, so I told you I used the Hourglass bronzer as my transition shade, and then I used this Dior Backstage palette for the rest of my eyes. I'm about to do my inner corner too, but I used the gold on my lid and then this bronzy shade as my shadow liner. This palette is incredibly versatile. I really love it. It's honestly one of my most used palettes that I have, and I still love an inner corner highlight. So this white shade from the palette is one of the prettiest. And I guess the last like bigger thing that we've had going on since I last updated you guys was my baby shower. So I ended up doing that at my house, which was such a good call. I had looked into venues, reached out to venues to see about having it somewhere, but I decided not to go that route just because of the logistics. I wanted it to feel really laid back, relaxed, and chill. I just wanted it to be my family, my close friends, you know, getting together, having fun, spending time together before baby gets here. So I really didn't want to be on like the schedule or timeline of a venue. I just also didn't want to mess with the logistics of being at a venue, having to use their liquor, getting like an ABC license, having to coordinate food going there or using their food if they wouldn't let you use like an outside source. There's just so many rules and stipulations. It was starting to feel very wedding-esque. And I just, like I mentioned, I wanted it to be low-key. So we did it at my house. It was perfect. I had about 25, 27 people come, and it was all family and close friends, and it was just perfect. It was the best day. I had really cute decor, good food. I did not play games because I don't like playing games. Once again, I did a great job documenting everything over on Instagram, so I have it all saved there. I just had to go on a scavenger hunt for this lipstick, which then made me find this lip liner with it. And I realized I used the wrong lip liner. My go-to lately has been soft pink, but I applied buff, so I'm just gonna go over this slightly. But both of these are the Tarte Maracuja lip liners, and I love them. They roll up, they glide on. I really like the formula. I like all the colors. I feel like they wear really well too. Buff would have been fine, but this just gives a slight bit more of contrast, which is what I want against my lipstick. And this lipstick is Midtown from Makeup by Mario. Stunning, gorgeous, beautiful. Like such a good pinky nude. But last little tidbit about my baby shower. I opted to do mine earlier than I think most people do. I did mine around the 30-week mark. I'm so happy that I did that. I felt really great. I felt beautiful. I, again, was starting to get like a little bit more tired by the end of the day, but overall, like, I wanted to make sure that I felt good for my baby shower. One, to just be with everyone, and two, for photos as well. And I'm just so happy that I did it that early and didn't wait until later, because the other thing was we were spoiled. I'm so thankful for everyone that came and like obviously showered baby boy with love and so many gifts. But it was really nice to like go through what we got from the shower and then still have like plenty of time to get anything else that we still needed, organize everything. Like, I think it would have been stressful trying to do everything like a month out. All I have to say, I think if I had waited to do the typical timeline that a lot of people do, like a month before the due date, I just would have felt too crunched for time, and I would have felt a lot more uncomfortable than I did at 30 weeks. So that is my one piece of advice that I will definitely recommend to new mamas, or even if you're somebody who's hoping to plan a baby shower. Do it early. You won't regret it. There is nothing wrong with doing it early. Final step, I typically use one of these two palettes to just add a little bit of glow back into my complexion. So I either use the Dior Backstage palette, or I got the Charlotte Tilbury one in, which is gorgeous, stunning, beautiful. I mean, literally any of these three, they look so good. I think I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury. I like mixing these two sometimes. And then kind of just applying it as blush. It's perfect. And then one final round of spritz. Let that set. Oh, but I just love this makeup combo so very much. I shouldn't really call this everyday makeup because it is a little bit glammy, but I would definitely say it's like a go-to makeup look for me. Like if I'm doing my makeup, I'm getting ready, I'm doing this. I feel a bit naked right now because the necklace that I always wear just broke. The clasp just broke on it. I'm really sad about it, but this is the final look. I love this whole lineup. Like I mentioned, it is definitely my go-to. These are all products I've been grabbing for, with the exception of the Kosas blush, which is newer, but it's just really pretty, glowy. I love the colors, all the tones of these products. For me personally, this is very wearable, and I feel good in it every single time. And most importantly, oh my gosh, it lasts. It lasts and it looks flawless in my opinion. So I'll of course have everything linked down below, and I'll put shades and such if you want to check any of it out. But I hope you all enjoyed hanging out with me while I got ready, just chit-chatting, getting you all caught up on life and where we are with things with baby. It's hard to say if I'm gonna have another weekly try on haul at this point or not, so TBD on that. But I can't wait to continue to share updates with you guys. Can't wait to share him once he's here, mix in some more lifestyle, some more vlogs. I'm just really excited for this next chapter. So glad you all are here. Thank you for tuning back in and watching, and until next time.